My name is Dr. Kemi Lawrence, formerly known as Dr. Kemi Olunlayo. I changed my name in 2007 to Olunlayo and I reverted back to Lawrence in 2024. The story you're about to hear is about my arrest and incarceration at Port Harcourt Maximum Prison in Nigeria in 2017 by Pastor David Ibiyomi, a mega pastor who accused me of defaming him in an article posted on my blog. Most Nigerians don't know the real story. They never really, researched into it. Everybody seemed to follow what everybody said, posted, or heard on social media. The mainstream media was also suppressed by forces loyal to Ibiyomi. You'll hear the details because it's shocking. The three people that prosecuted me died mysteriously. One of the plaintiffs, Yabo, was paid millions and millions of Naira, close to 10 million Naira, to stay out of court. That way, if she doesn't come to court, they'll bring me from prison. But then if she doesn't show up, they'll return me to prison and adjourn the case. That was done close to 7 times because of Yabo, who admitted that she could actually send me back to prison while boasting during the Mohbad case in 2023 and opened a huge can of worms that led one of the police officers in the case to contact me and tell me that she was in fact bribed by one of the prosecutors via him. That officer said he was the one that did the alerts and sent it to Yabo so that she doesn't come to court. Many Nigerians were wondering why I was still in prison. Activism groups and activists like Charlie Boy, Teji Adeyanju, Omoyele Sowore, several of them were wondering what was keeping me in prison. A journalist at Premium Times, Samuel Ogunikwe, came to the prison disguised as a fan just to come interview me and hear what I had to say on why they were still keeping me in prison. This case is very phenomenal. It's full of shocks. And at the end of all this case, a journalist was poisoned and killed. It'll shock you. You will laugh, you will cry, you'll hear a lot. I discovered a lot inside the prison. And the reason why you don't lock journalists up is because the prison becomes a newsroom. And I exposed what was going on in Port Harcourt, the conditions, what the Interior Minister needed to know. I opened a can of worms. This documentary is called Persecuted IJ. IJ stands for Investigative Journalist. I was persecuted. I was locked up for no reason. I was locked up unfairly. My human rights were violated. And the Nigerian police kidnapped me. The Inspector General of Police at the time, Ibrahim Idris, now lives in a mental home. He ran mad after his wife locked him in a cage and deprived him of several things, allegedly stealing his money, emptying his bank account, and torturing him. Idris was rescued and was taken to the Emir's palace in his hometown, where he became a ward of the Emir. From IGP to simple mental patient in a room, no house, no cars, nothing. There are so many things nobody heard about this case. One of the men that prosecuted me, Kennedy Okoko, a 42-year-old billionaire from Bayelsa State who once ran for governor of Bayelsa, was Pastor David Ibiyomi's spiritual son. He was also an assistant pastor of Salvation Ministry. Kennedy Okoko will show up in court with 20-plus police officers. I always thought it was a big police boss, not aware that he was a billionaire that just carried a huge police detail. Kennedy attempted to have me assassinated twice by police. He confessed to me before he died, and he actually apologized for what happened. He has 2 children. I believe they were adopted with his wife. And they will be shocked if they haven't heard of his role in this whole thing. The assassination attempt, from what I heard, was unknown to Pastor Ibiyomi. They wanted to eliminate me at the courthouse when I was given bail, and also at the courthouse on another incident. You will hear the details. Nigeria is a very dangerous country. If they want to eliminate you, they'll make it look like an accident. But in this case, they straight up wanted to assassinate me. Why? I don't know. And then there's the role my parents played, especially my father. Happy that I was actually arrested. Same with my mother. In notes that we found on WhatsApp and also conversations with journalists. Today, 2024, a lot of people still wonder why I don't talk to my parents anymore, or I detached from my family altogether, changing my name, moving to a different continent, and moving on with my life. You'll get to see what they did. I have not spoken or seen my family since 2016, 8 years ago. This case changed my life. It traumatized my life. I have been through a lot of trauma, but the trauma I went through in this Ibiyomi case, as we call it, was just phenomenal. Rumors circled around that Ibiyomi gave me money to start my business over. I ran a news platform, HNN Africa, World News for Africans. I lost the platform. I lost the domain. I lost all the handles because I was locked up in prison. I could not renew some of the domains and handles on GoDaddy. Some of them were in private. Some of them were logged out. There was a lot of mess. I lost my business. $5 million business, HNN Africa. Aside from all the people that diminished my name, my business, like Linda AKG, Davido, and others, this Ibiyomi case finally took down my business, and I had nothing left. I had no clothing, no food, nothing when I was released from prison in Port Harcourt. And I went to stay with a former minister with General Abacha and General Babangida, Alabo Graham Douglas. The late Alabo Graham Douglas had me staying with him for 30 days, and I decided I wanted to go meet Ibiyomi. His case was dismissed by the federal court, and his case was withdrawn by the magistrate court. Ibiyomi did not drop charges on me. The case was dismissed on the higher court, and they could not go on in the lower court, and they withdrew the case. A lot of lies, rumors, and false information went out. Nigerians did not know. In this docuseries, you would know. In this part one that I'm talking in now, you'll hear more in part two. On the morning of March 14, 2017, Nigerian police surrounded my house in Ibadan, in the Ikolaba GRA. Around 7:26, police surrounded my house and were banging the gate, almost knocking it down. My elderly mom went to the gate and spoke to them. I was asleep. She came to the room, knocked the door, and woke me up, saying police was outside, they've surrounded the house, and they want to talk to me. I went outside in my nightgown and I said, what do you want? What do you want to talk to me about? They opened a file and said, I wrote something about a pastor. Open that file, let me see. It was Ibiyomi and the post I made. But this doesn't warrant me to come to CID. If he feels I defamed him, he should go sue me in court. Little did I know that defamation was criminal in Nigeria and not civil. I went inside to get dressed and to follow them to CID. What I did was I went on Twitter and I tweeted live that police surrounded my house and they said they're here to talk to me and they're taking me to CID. I posted on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all platforms, and the news media picked it up from there. I had it as breaking news. The police had surrounded my house and everything. 7:25 a.m. By 9 a.m. it was the front of Punch newspapers, Vanguard, and everybody else. The front of their websites. The Nigerian police took me to CID as they said they were taking me. What happened next at that CID will shock you. They abducted me on a 12-hour journey to Port Harcourt from Ibadan, Nigeria, without telling my family, without telling me where we were going, and I actually planned to kill them with their own automatic rifles.